Really good to have you back with us, Torek. Firstly, this is an ambitious initiative to try and eradicate the very lucrative poppy trade in Afghanistan. Others have tried to do that before. How successful will the Taliban be, do you think, in its aims?
Oscar, it's not sure. Opium has played a role of poverty reduction in Afghanistan, especially with farmers in far-fetched areas. And in the past 20 years, plantations have increased to almost all over Afghanistan. But the areas where there is the most plantation is the southwestern regions. And it's not sure that the Taliban will be successful because financial interests are behind poppy cultivation, and including some Taliban who are involved in it. And in the long run, it might end up with some factional fighting as well between them. It might have been a decision to weaken one faction against others. But the first victim of this decision is the farmer, which doesn't have any alternate crop, really. And also there is an issue of drought, where alternate crops will need water, more water than is available right now.
That's right. As you say, the farmers who are cultivating these poppies aren't necessarily criminals, as one might think. As you say, they depend on this trade for their livelihoods. I mean, as someone who has studied the country, someone who's an economist themselves, explain to us what needs to happen in order to replace that trade. Surely there needs to be an alternative for these farmers.
Exactly. There has to be a multi-year program by the World Bank, by international institutions to offer financial help and incentives to farmers. Alternate crops, saffron, other crops have been tried, but it's not easy because then you have to find a market. Also, opium, of course, the market is automatically found. It's a criminal industry. But the people who are inside Afghanistan, between 1.4 and $2 billion that stays, the farmer doesn't make most of the money in this trade. The farmer makes a subsistence living out of it, but the traffickers make most of the money. That was one of the problems with the former government, that some of the former government officials were involved in the traffic and export of it. The U.S. spent $8 billion to control opium in Afghanistan to no avail, basically. So it's not an easy task, but the first victims are the farmers. Of course, Afghanistan has to find ways to legalize exports for pharmaceutical reasons. This is another negotiation that needs to be led officially by Taliban, but that has not happened really.
Okay, Torek Farhadi, really good to get your thoughts on the issues. Thanks again for joining us on TRT World.